Good afternoon and welcome to Monarchs Mocha. Dan Vaughn with you. I'm pounding these bad boys all day today. Oh man, it's the reason we love what we do, right? Last night, a little overnight ride. Team arriving about just shy of 8 a.m. About 7:56, and I believe in the race to Kansas City, we beat Cleburne in, even though they had a slightly head start. I think they got done about a half hour before we did, and they had about 36 less minutes. But we got in last night before they did, or at least I didn't see their bus at the hotel. We drove by and coming home at 8:15 or whatever it was, or 8:30 by the time I got home. But anyway, glad you're on today. Again, those bus rides always a challenge, but when you get a win like they did last night, it definitely feels better. Get you guys a thumbs up, and I'm glad y'all are here. As let's see here, and text WD-40 real quick here. But anyway, all right. We don't have a lot today. It's going to be pretty quick because I got to get going and get the ballpark. But as you can see, I'm not the ballpark. I thought it would be. For some reason, and I don't know what's going on, if it's formatting or internet or what it is, but we're having a little trouble uploading some stuff to our social channels. And one of those was being the Good News Highlights, which I pulled off last night on the bus going down I-29. Somewhere after the 1 o'clock hour. And don't know why they're not loading. I have them for you here, so you would have already seen them, but I've got them for you here. I want to pull up any comments here real quickly as well. Other than that, I don't have a lot of, except for just that, just to say, hey, get out the ballpark. Big series here. And in case you missed it, we'll take questions on yesterday's news with the association expanding the playoff field with the wild card playing game, which if you missed that yesterday, let me pull this up. Currently, the way it stands, as of today, that would be, if all things being equal, in the North, Milwaukee would wait around for the winner of Chicago at Fargo. Wait, other way around. Fargo at Chicago, because right now Chicago has the lead. On the tiebreaker, Fargo has the lead, but they're actually a game behind, so it'd be Fargo playing at Chicago to play Milwaukee. For the South Division currently, Kansas City would sit idly and wait around while it'd be a Sioux City at Cleburne battle. But now with Lincoln playing well and making up some ground, and Sioux City having a very big game tonight there in Winnipeg, nearly got one last night too. And anyway, I'll take your questions and comments, but let's roll into a couple of items. Let's first start with your standings. I did have them, I thought, and I didn't load them in. Let's do that. Let's load them in tonight. How about that? There we go. Today. It feels like Friday. We were so used to having Mondays off. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, new series on Friday, that it feels like it's Friday and we're starting a new series. It's a 4-game series, though, because we play a 4-game with them later in the year at their place. So there's all that. All right. Let's see if I can pull the standings up if they loaded in there for me. Did they? Yeah, they did. Here we go. Here's what we got going on around the league. There is the numbers as of today. Let me bring the banner down for you as well. And the only real change was the Monarchs and Milwaukee with the best records overall in the league. Nate, I'll get to that in just a second, just a moment here. Chicago, 5 games back, as I mentioned. Fargo, 6 back. 11.5 back Winnipeg, 13.5 back King County. Gary, 18.5 back. In reality, King County is 7 off the pace of the playing game and 5.5 off the pace of the playing game for Winnipeg. And I think they have a chance to make up some ground at home with some of the teams will be coming up with less than a full roster. But we'll get that in just a moment. I'll get back to that. It's going to be a topic I know we're going to talk about. In the South, Kansas City, 46-24, 6.5 games clear of Cleveland. Cleveland, a loss last night, a series loss to Chicago. They beat Chicago up there. Chicago returned the favor winning the last two. Sioux City dropped the game a heartbreaker last night. They were up 7-5 in the ninth inning. Wild pitch tied it, and a grand slam wins it for Winnie with one out in the ninth inning. I think they got the first out and then loaded the bases, and then wild pitch, and then load the bases again, grand slam. That's how they lost last night. Sioux City is 7 back, half game behind Cleveland. Of course, the half game will come up back next week. We have a doubleheader next Wednesday, a week from yesterday there. Lincoln 8.5 back, 19 back for Sioux Falls, and 36.5 back for the Apollos. So there is what the standings look like today in the association. And I bring that down here. Nate asking, any sense of what top seed each division would want to do schedule-wise in the postseason, i.e. take 2 games at home Friday, Saturday, or get the tail end of the best of 5? It depends. I think here, what you saw in 2018 and 19 are two different stories. Remember, 18, you're the wild card. It was the call of Sioux City in the first round and St. Paul in the second. Both teams, were different. St. Paul elected in the championship series to play the first 2 at home. Sioux City elected to come down here and play the first 2. And in both cases, the Monarchs, then the T-Bones won. In 19, Kansas City elected to play the first 2 ball games there and then came home and split up there, won the first one, lost the second one, and then lost the 2 here. So the 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5 gets buys. It's 3. What it is, it's let's see here. Everyone makes the playoffs. First place teams get buys. 3-6. Yeah, play a tournament style, I guess. I mean, it makes some sense. I mean, it would reward the teams, Kevin, that are playing well late. If you remember a couple of years ago, was it 2 years ago, that Sioux Falls got really behind early, and then they really played great the last month, along with Kansas City, and you play the hot team late. My other argument Kevin is that the body of work thing must matter. These games, yeah, I know. I'm being snarky. Kevin's just being snarky there, but the body of work's got to matter, and that's, I think, the thing that a lot of folks are probably going to be most concerned about. I understand. It's like I told you all last night. The key word's pivot. Said it yesterday as well. Pivot was the key word. That's the word that Joshua Schaub used. In this day and age, we've got to pivot. And we don't know what things will look like 3 weeks from now. Heck, if you read, now again, depends on what you read in the papers, obviously, in the media. But, there's a little bit of a fear factor out there again. And I'm not going to get into politics, so that's not what I'm doing. I'm just telling you, it's out there. And it's out there. It's now the news feeds, and that's what the news is reporting again. Now, the fear factor is not nearly as bad as it was a year ago, because now you have a vaccine out and people are taking it, seem to be okay. So again, there's all that. But what I'm telling you is the flexibility, ability to have a pivot is important here too. And again, in Lincoln's case, they get in that 3rd spot. It's a great thing for them. I think that's really that the body of work will be rewarded for playing good the second half and getting you there. That there's a reward for those teams that are in 3rd place too. And maybe. I don't know how you reward a team finishing first any more than getting a home field bye or getting the home bye. I don't know what you can really do unless you close. Unless what the big leagues do, they don't have a travel day, do they? Or do they have a travel day? I guess they do. They do have a wild card travel day. But you have to have the travel day because of the weather. But let's just say you didn't have a travel day. You went from that Wednesday game to a Thursday game. That would make a little bit more of a sense for an uphill battle. But again, the good stuff. All right, let's roll the good news highlights from last night. Good ball game, really good ball game. Kiva Sampson was very good against a really good lineup. And he's a guy that, and hearing him talk to his teammates, and being around him, he's a guy that knows exactly what he's doing out there. And I think most pitchers do, but this is a guy that's really dialed in, and he's very mature and knows what he's doing on the mound out there. The bullpen, I thought, was very good again. Slightly a deficit the first two games, but they were the only real head-to-head in those ball games with the bullpen for Fargo was slightly better. But in general, the offenses are pretty close. And the starting pitching for Kansas City last night was a little better and all around better. So, again, it was a series you could have won, but you also wind up winning the final one. And I think you did it in the right way. And here's the thing. You come back home no worse than you were when you left. And, yeah, you could have probably picked up one more game, but you're 6.5 clear of Cleveland, 7 of Sioux City. And, you still have things in front of you with a 4-game series that the math tells you is big for both clubs for different reasons. Cleveland's got to make the ground up. A series, 3 or 4 for them would be huge. And even 3 or 4 for them cuts it down to if they won all 4, they'd be 2.5 back. Winning 3 would get them 3.5 back. So, if you split the series, you're right back where you started from with one more week off the calendar. So for them, that's their angle. For Kansas City, a series split or a series win would increase your lead and also take off the calendar days as well. And you got Lincoln and Sioux City in the wings. You can't control that, but these head-to-heads you can. And it's a pretty big one. Sunday, the Monarchs will be a TBA, but expecting to see this series Justin Schaefer tonight, tomorrow Jake Mathis, and then on Saturday, Nick Travieso. And that's the 3 going tonight. I have theirs. Theirs will be, I think it's lefty, lefty, righty. Let me double check here. They will be lefty Michael Gunn, who's been an ace for them. He's probably their guy. Then righty, righty, righty. So that's what they've got coming for you tonight. And there is your schedule of this one. But again, big series. And in fact, you won last night. That's huge. You got that game. You lost your road series, but you gained, basically you lost the road series but kept where you're at in standings. So that's all good too. And for Sioux City's case, they actually dropped a pair and they dropped in the standings too. The only team that really benefited was Lincoln. They're playing tonight against the Apollos. 2 one-run ball games for Lincoln too in that series so far. All right, let's roll the good news highlights from last night. Put this down for you. These were done on the bus last night. Not my finest work, but I think it works. The versatile skills of DV. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. Earned runs, and here's one hit out toward left field, drifting back at the track, at the wall. That ball is going to clear the wall. See you later for Colin Willis. He will touch them all. It's 2-0 Kansas City. On the first pitch, Willis sees from Hens. He lines a home run to left. See you later. It's 2-0 Kansas City. I'm doing several things tonight. 1-2, ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. Kinjo around third. Here's a throw from center field. It's a high arcing throw. He'll score standing. It's over the head of everybody. It's Wazinger will go to third base. It's 3-0 Kansas City. On the RBI from McCullough, it's his 30th. On the button right there, back where it came from. Holding him here. Gabby hits one out toward right. Drifting back is Silviano at the track, at the wall. That ball is going to be gone. See you later. 2-run home run. He will touch them all. It's 5-0 Kansas City. Guerrero has his 13th. RBIs 59 and 60. Here's the 1-2. Grounded to first. Prime is there. He'll go to second. A bad throw is in the left field. He couldn't make up his mind. Run will score. Guerrero races for third. Prime kind of double pumped and kind of threw sidearm. Line to left. Come on. Yeah, sit down. Base hit. It's 7-1 Kansas City. As the 46 run batted in for Darnell Sweeney. And the Monarchs by the policy in this 8th inning. Popped up. Shit in the ballgame. Left side of the infield. Sweeney's there. You can notch this one. It's a good news Wednesday night. Monarchs are winners by a score of 7-1. And Kansas City takes the final game of the series. One, two, ground. There you go, folks. There you go. A couple things in the video. I don't know if you noticed this, and let me see if I can play it back for you with the volume down. Let me go ahead and get it to you. There's a couple things that I thought were fun. The little things that I noticed in the video. Let me mute this, and I'll play it for you, and I'll pause when I get there. One was the home run, the Willis home run. There's a softball team out there kind of kicking it out beyond the play area. I want you to watch some scramble. Hold on, here we go. I want you to watch some scramble. Here's part number one. Watch the scramble here. And as they see the home run ball goes over their head. There they are. What? Oh, wait. There we go. Let's go get it. Those kiddos go scrambling for the ball. Like, look, wait, what was that? That's item number one. I want to show you this one, of course. I thought Kimber was just standing instead he's sliding. The ball was over his head. That was not
11 earned
one
runs.
One more thing I want to point out to you, too.
Left field.
Was three, actually.
Back at the track, at the wall. That ball is going to clear the wall. See you later for Colin Willis. He will touch them all. It's 2-0 Kansas City.
His own business, walking along
on the first pitch, Willis sees from Hens.
He goes into
lines
action.
a home run to
left.
left.
Ball sends everyone into action. It's like
later. It's 2-0 Kansas
scrambling
City.
For it. In this guy's case,
I'm doing like several things tonight. 1-2, ground ball middle. That's a base hit. Kinjo around third. Here's a throw from center field. It's
there
a high arcing throw.
There he is, right there with the sign. You see that guy? He kind of he was. These are sprinting after the home run ball. And I want to see the final thing here as well. I want you guys to see the final thing as well.
11
I want you to watch what Darnell Sweeney
out toward left field
and Casey Gillespie do after a win.
I have not seen that ball is going to clear the wall. See you later for Colin Willis. He will touch them all. It's 2-0 Kansas City.
Down the field, a few guys that are down
on the first pitch, Willis sees from
watch what they do.
He lines a home run to left. See you later. It's 2-0 Kansas City.
And I think it's pretty funny.
Like,
I think I like I've never noticed
1-2,
this.
ground ball middle. That's a base hit.
Here we go.
Kinjo around third.
Fly.
Here's a throw from center field. It's a high arcing throw.
Now watch Darnell toss the ball
It's over the head of everybody.
Watch him. Here they go.
Lozinger will go to third base. It's 3-0 Kansas City.
Tap feet. There you
go.
RBI
from McCullough. It's his 30th.
I love that.
The button right there.
I did not notice until last night when I was putting those highlights together on the bus, and to see that. Those three little things, the highlights, because the kids scrambling, once I see the ball leave, I'm watching them run around the bases, and I'm talking, and the numbers. Was it hard to hear me with the highlight? Okay, sorry about that. I thought I had it turned down there. Sorry about that. Well, anyway. Don't know why it was hard to hear. Had it muted. Anyway, the three things, though, those young ladies and the softball players, I didn't notice them until I watched it in replay last night, but they're like, oh, wait, that's for us. Why would I go scramble? And the gentleman out in right field walking along the street, and all of a sudden he comes out of nowhere like on a sprint. Like he was afraid somebody else was going to get that ball in the parking lot. And then I love the Casey and Darnell thing. They tapped the feet. I love that. I had not noticed that. And those are little things that you notice sometimes. You go back through and you go back and edit the video in post-production. Here at the well, this wasn't done here, but this is the Delaware Ridge Studios. All right, rare easy win in Fargo. When I covered the Saints, it seemed like Fargo would have been yes. And I will. It is the association of plans to address the attendance issues of the finals. I don't know about that, Brian. I will tell you this: your Monarchs are working hard on that for playoffs. Not so much the finals, but I know it's a plan in place. I know the staff met this week when I was on the road. I know they met about this. I saw the agenda, but I was gone. But they met to talk about potential things. One problem that we've always had in baseball, Brian, this goes back affiliated ball. I've mentioned this story before. I remember playing Kane County in the Midwest League semifinals in 1999. And Kane County at the time was a top 3 attendance, or 4, probably top 5 attendance in all of baseball. And they were drawing, averaging 5,000 a night, 6,000 a night. We got there in a weekend playoff series, and it was a ghost town. Now, granted, Little Burlington, Iowa hadn't been in the postseason in something like 30 years. So we had we had a ballpark that sat about 4,500, and we had crowds of 2,000 and 3,000 at our playoff games, which is pretty good for a Tuesday, Wednesday. Really good for a Tuesday, Wednesday Burlington. but for whatever reason, I think part of the reason is because, Brian, you don't know you're going to be the postseason back in May. When Morgan and her staff are putting together the promotional calendar in March and April, you do put in there playoffs. You put you'll put it in there, but you have no idea, and you don't want to start planning for something and dance in the end zone just yet. You don't know if you're going to get that far, and it creates a real challenge. And I've always wondered what that challenge was, because I've watched this in Australia where the playoff numbers are bigger than the regular season numbers. It's totally reverse over there. I mean, in Perth, we'll literally have 7,000 folks in a ballpark that it seats just under 6,000. We'll have a tail in every seat and people standing. The playoffs are big there. I know in Canberra 2 years ago when we were there, they had a crowd of 4,500 in a ballpark that sat about 5. So, that's really good stuff. But for some reason, and it goes back to MILB, where you don't know if you're going to be in the postseason. You don't know. You can't make plans in May and June, or really before that. The things you do in the offseason really dictate what you do in the season. But let's just say you want to do a playoff giveaway night, a playoff T-shirt night, but you can't plan for that because, dang it, if you do plan and order the shirts, you don't make the playoffs. That's always been a problem. So the key, and I think what we've gone through, and I think what the staff's going to go through, and what I've always championed, is you got to be creative here. And that's what we're going to do, is try to create some kind of, I think you'll see teams do more. And they did it in Sioux City 2 years ago. In that semifinal series, John Roos, the owner of the Explorers, did a little party patio out in the parking lot. He set up a DJ and a little bar out there. I remember I went out there and hung out with him, and he gave me a hoodie from his dealership, his Harley dealership, and it was a real app. They created an atmosphere, put a band up in front, and had something going on. And that's kind of what sometimes you got to do when you're not able, because you had to plan the last moment. And again, now I feel pretty confident that you're going to see a combination of us, Cleburne, Sioux City, perhaps Lincoln. 3 of those 4 teams will play a postseason game. Only 2 of those teams will probably play it at home. So, and there's a chance only one of those teams plays at home. So, in that first round anyway. As far as the championship thing, and the only other thing I would think of, and I'll throw this out there just because it happened in Australia, is to play a bubble type thing or a destination type game. But that would take away the chance to bring fans at home. I mean, if you did let's say you did the game at, let's just throw this out there, okay? Let's say you did the championship series in the Field of Dreams in Dyersville. Let's just say you did it there, okay? I'm not saying that, but if you did it there, you're going to take away from home crowds anyway, and there's no home field advantage. We did it last year in Australia, playing the bubble thing, and it worked, but all Melbourne was the home team, and they got the bigger fans. I don't know if there's a really great way around it. And Kevin says St. Paul clinched, they got 5,000 for 2019, and that's really good because St. Paul's used to having 8,000 every game, and they drew, just 60% capacity. And that's that's great. But it's a challenge. It's always been a challenge, Brian, and I know but I think the thing is, in this day and age, the word pivot. And I'm telling you, again, I know Morgan and Mark McKee, Mark Brandmeier, Jay Hendricks, and others, Susie Hollis, all that group got together this week, and they met about that stuff. And again, I don't know what's going on yet, but that's something we're aware of, because you want to make it a tough place. You want to make it an advantage, and hopefully that'll be the case. And I think the one advantage we have, Brian, here too, as independent ball clubs, is about winning. And I think that also is a plus too. I think that does, because I know Gary had some pretty good playoff crowds when I was there in 2013, my first year. So I think that also helps. Unlike, say, for example, Northwest Arkansas, AA club for the Royals, you don't know. Now, granted, if you have half division winners, that also would mix into it. That would help some, but you just don't know. And by the time some of these places, you got to remember, I'll throw Lincoln, Nebraska out there. Playoff game in Lincoln on a Saturday in the fall. What kind of crowd are you going to get in Lincoln, Nebraska on a Saturday in the fall? It'll be a tough sell. If you even play a game on Saturday in Lincoln in the fall. They've had times before we've had to see them move games around because of the football games going on. And if the team's on the road, the Huskers are gone playing whoever, what are folks going to be doing? glued to their TV or at the pub or whatever. It's the way it works. It's hard to sell a Tuesday. Yes. Mark, you're right. It's hard to sell Tuesday almost anything, playoff or not. Yes. It's where, Mark, too, and I've talked about this in Australia, and I hate to keep bringing Australia up, but it's on my mind today for some reason. The Australian Baseball League loves to play double headers. They'll squeeze in 4 games in 3 days. And I always argue that Thursday, your best days in any business, restaurants, cinemas, your retail, you want to have those prime days, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? Well, the ABL will sometimes not play. They'll play a doubleheader on a Saturday. I'm like, why would you ever do that? Why would you ever play 2 games on a Saturday if you couldn't play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Why would you do that? Or why would you play a doubleheader on a Thursday? Or why would you play a doubleheader, day-night doubleheader on a Saturday? And in Perth's case, they're drawing, again, 4,000, 5,000 a game, and you're going to have just 1 gate. Why not spread that out over 4? Anyway, you're right. That's the benefit of the Australian Baseball League. They don't play Tuesday night games. We do, and that's unfortunate. I can tell you we've had this conversation before. When that schedule comes out, Mark, we look at that schedule and go, okay, weekend dates, check. Holiday dates, okay, we're home this holiday, gone this holiday, okay, check. How many Tuesdays do we have? That's always a question. And you always want to see that. The fewer Tuesdays, the better off you are. The nightmare scenario is having a Tuesday doubleheader or a Wednesday doubleheader, especially Tuesday. Although I was impressed with the crowd in Fargo on Tuesday night. I thought they did a pretty good job. I think they've done some things group sales wise, and it's a smaller, intimate venue too. So with the seating capacity there, it feels like 2,000 doesn't feel like 2,000 here or in Gary or in, I don't know, Winnipeg feels like 2 folks. Just the way the thing sits. Christian Brothers has tons of Monarch stuff in the waiting room. That's cool. She sent me a photo of that. Kevin says it's hard on sales. Yeah, you can't get a group sale together. You can't go to Civic Group A and say, hey, we have a playoff game in 2 days. Could you come out? Now you can get the Civic Group or whatever, the Lions Club, the whatever, right? Churches, the what we did last Saturday, the Pride Night. You got to take some planning for that. You got to get that out in the community, and you just can't say, oh, by the way, tomorrow is going to be whatever, and we want the group from whatever to come. We want everybody from Leavenworth to come out tomorrow night. Well, give us some notice, folks, right? I mean, that's a challenge too. Anyway, owners in the Northern League wanted to move the championship series to Las Vegas. It was one of the many issues that caused 4 teams. And see, I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying that that's the only other idea I can think of besides, and I'll go back to what we're doing here, and that's to say, okay, how are we going to make this thing fly? And the one advantage we have today we didn't have in 1999 is you have a lot of ability in the house to do social and get the point of the story out. You can tell your own story. Yes, we need Fox 4, but we can also tell our own story. It's great when Fox 4 runs our highlights. I love it. Or when 41 or anybody in the market runs our highlights. I love it. I'm so thankful we have that. But we also have our own highlights. That's why I cut that highlight reel up, and Nathan will do it tonight for us. We do that because we have it in the house as well. I can throw it on my social channel real fast, and here we got something for you. In 1999, you couldn't do that. So it all comes back into how you tell that story and being able to tell your own story in-house and being your best advocate. And I think we do a great job of that. I'm telling you, Morgan, I can pull up the social channels now and see all the graphics that she and Paul Coleman have done. And we're constantly putting things out. The hot pepper contest, I can pull that up right now and I promote it anyway. Those are things we couldn't do. Even 10 years ago was in limited infancy. It was limited to what teams are doing. It was, and now you tell your own story, and that's a big deal. Being able to say, look, this is what we're doing. This is what's going on. And now there's a chance that with the right social media post, we can throw up out there, hey, pack the park. And with media partners too. It's all mixed in there, but it's a challenge. You guys, Brian brings a really good point up. That's a really good point. And I'll just encourage you now to be talking the ball club up. And that's why it's important to celebrate what we're doing and be prepared for it. But yet, like I told you last night, you've not done anything yet, clinched anything or anything. But you want to be prepared. And our staff's prepared. Now, how that translates is it'll be interesting to see. But I think we're prepared. We're way ahead of it. And that's something we got to do. But very good question. Very good comment right there for everybody there. Let's see if I missed anything. Anyway. Now, the association, your question, Brian, was more about the association. I don't know what they do. I do know in years gone by, the playoff revenue usually went to the league. I don't know how it goes in this league. Kevin, do you know, with your work in this week, the association, does the league still get the revenue from the ticket sales of playoffs? Back in the day, in the MILB, that's the way it usually went. It basically went to put on the postseason, and it paid the postseason bonuses and trophies and all that. I don't know, and I don't know. Because back then, the ring budget came out of the affiliate. I mean, the affiliate, the White Sox, for example, helped pay for the rings. And I didn't pay for all of them, but there was some kind of breakdown there. I don't know for sure, but Kevin might know. But anyway, all right, which takes us to tonight. Tonight, as I mentioned, Gunn, the lefty, been very good, and he'll be facing Justin Schaefer, who's also very good. It should be a good matchup tonight. It's a angle, basically the same storyline. Cleveland's they need to win the series. The Monarchs will win the series. Either one, you have two different looks at it. Cleveland want to make up ground. You want to keep the ground, and you also want to tear off calendar days. They're trying to make up ground in fewer days, head to head. And I look forward to seeing Brad and Denning, two phenomenal guys. The guys that broadcast the Cleveland games. They are just really, really good mates of mine, and I think the world of them, as I do all the guys in the league, but really have a special kinship with them. Brad is really just a phenomenal, energetic personality. Denning is a real straight shooter, and they are a perfect team together. And I really love that relationship that they have and what I have. Kevin says the last he knew, and I think you're right, Kevin, the league gets the revenue. I can't confirm that, but I think that's the case. There might be something there. If the motivation is to help bring folks in, and that means if the league is getting revenue from ticket sales and you do a group sale of 1,000, well, you don't really bring any group sales in, right? There's that. But again, you also, the flip of the coin is, well, the group sales bring 1,000 folks in. Your per head, your merch, your drinks, your beverage, your food and beverage, all that's going to go up. And most importantly to me, I think the most important things have energy and have folks in the stands. There's that. I thought the crowds are very good in 18 to 19 here for the postseason. I didn't know what to expect. I thought they're very good here. So, all right. Speaking of things to expect tonight and crowds and what to expect here at the ballpark tonight, it's the chili pepper eating contest, hot pepper eating contest. RJ Iguanas, the everyday hot sauce, the official hot sauce of the Monarchs and of the Monarchs Broadcast Network. I will have some on a salad probably tomorrow. I don't know if I have a salad today. I'm going to have to run through the drive-thru. But yes, Sarah asking a moment. I'll get right to you, Sarah, in just a second. But again, today is the final of the qualifying rounds. But the 19th is the final round. But qualifying tonight and then the championship on next Thursday. I'll go through the rest of the weekend tomorrow for you. We'll do a little more weekend-centric conversation because we have the Catalina Wine Mixer on Saturday. You got that going on. We got Disney characters tomorrow. Bark in the Park is on Sunday. So a lot of things going on. MonarchsBaseball.com, MonarchsBaseball.com for tickets. I'd love to have you out. Yes, there's a doubleheader next Wednesday. It's on their schedule. It's at their ballpark. And I believe because, well, my guess is the league did approve it for that Wednesday game. Usually it's the first day in, but because of the different circumstances this year, it's the second day in. It'll be a Wednesday doubleheader from Sioux City, 5 o'clock start there. It would be on their schedule. We will be pushing I'll remind you all on the broadcast. You'll hear me talk about it this weekend, especially as we go closer toward the end of the weekend. it'll start settling in because the Monarchs are TBA on Sunday, and they had to play a doubleheader on Wednesday. So there's a lot of things. That's why this series here, if you win 3 out of 4, it's huge because you got a doubleheader in the back end plus a TBA. So everyone you can get in that pocket right now with the pitching, because again, the TBA and the doubleheader, throw that in there with the fact that Jose Taveras is not available right now. Now, we'll have an update of him today, we expect, from Joe Cath-Pietro in the Providence Medical Center Health Report on the pregame side. But that'll be something to find out a bit later. So anyway, last call for questions and comments here. I got to get going. It's 10 till 2 out of the ballpark. I got to get there. Got to get there. So anyway, tonight, top of the hour, 7 o'clock, we will come your way, and we will have the AABaseball.tv. By the way, tonight, Facebook Live will be up as well. All the games in the league will be up, but our game will be the quote-unquote feature game of the week on Facebook Live on the American Association site. So that as well, and our site as well. My Booth Cam, which I think is getting some traction slowly, is getting some traction, although the internet issue last night knocked me off for a bit. But the Booth Cam can be found on my YouTube channel and on my personal Facebook page if you happen to want to go by that. A little insight of what goes on the broadcast booth, a little behind the scenes, if you will. So there you go. Really off topic, I got a Facebook ad pop up selling Monarchs jersey that led to a link. Monarchs online store. Great marketing there. Thumbs up right there, Kevo. Thumbs up, mate. No doubt about it. I saw that too. Fortunately, I have the one I didn't have, I clicked on. So I didn't see that. Also tonight, Nick Solar, the broadcast of the Monarchs Broadcast Network. That'll be tonight at 6:30. The pregame show rolls a lot along. We've moved it back 5 minutes. The content's so engaging and all the things we got to talk about. Better jump on it. We will do that tonight at 6:30. And we'll roll right along with your American Association numbers, your Coors Light flashback moment, Monarchs 101 with DV. I got a lot of stuff to get to. Joe's show, all that tonight in the pregame from Legends Field and Kansas City tonight. Monarchs and those Cleveland Railroaders, a battle for the top of the ladder. And Monarchs a 6.5 game lead. Clee wants to cut that down. Monarchs going to keep the Heisman pose out, keep them off the bumper. It should be a great series. Haven't seen them in a while, and looking forward for this big matchup. It'll be the headline matchup this weekend. If the Sioux City matchup 3 weeks ago was a headliner, or 4 weeks ago, this is one of them too. So that will all be on tonight on the Monarchs Broadcast Network. Again, thanks for stopping by. Sorry to blow through it. I got to get going. I got to get to the ballpark. Something about sleeping upright. Just didn't do it for me last night. All right. Much love to y'all. I'll see y'all at 6 o'clock. Facebook Live with your lineup card and the pregame notes as well. That'll come your way, as we'll do that right here on Facebook at 6. And again, the broadcast at 6:30. I'll see you on the broadcast tonight, everybody. Go Monarchs. See you then.